It's a tough, I think the cathedral actually is really the right question to answer, to ask, excuse me, or for me to try and answer, because it is so symbolic. I don't think at the end of the day, it's the building that matters there. It's what the building represents that matters. And you have a couple of choices with that. You can knock it down altogether and it may be that is the only answer. I personally do not know the state of the structure of that building. And so I am speaking from a certain level of ignorance on that. It may be that it is too far gone. But let's assume for a moment it's not, and that you could restore it in some fashion, to some level. The question becomes how you do that and what you want that restoration to be. Do you want to be Dresden and just simply put it back the way it was? Or do you want to be Hiroshima and create a city that they think is newer and looking to the future? Only you can answer that question. The church has to have a say. But I will, without avoiding it altogether, I will say this. If it were me and I were working with that, I would want some piece of that to survive, some memory of that. But I wouldn't want that to survive unless that memory reflected the entirety of the reason that it is the way it is. So if you rebuilt it, I would never rebuild it to copy what was there, because that's a lie. That's an architectural distortion. Do something that reflects that a cataclysmic event struck that church, which represents this city, and that you've made a recovery that incorporates your history and moves on to a brighter future. Whatever that might be, there is open to interpretation. But it would be absolutely wrong to forget what has happened. Dresden is wrong, in my mind. It is wrong to have taken that path. Rebuild the buildings if they want them, yes, but build them so that the people understand what happened there. Germans have a funny mixed opinion about what happened in World War II. So they got Dresden. So this is not the same place. This is New Zealand. And you need to, I think this, from what I have heard from the people that I have met with and have been with, this is a remarkable place. And it feels like New Orleans to me. The people here feel very practical and very proud at the same time, so that they're not going to walk away from what they are and in favor of some cheap, temporary solution, bad thing. That they're going to embrace it and do it well. I love your temporary shopping center, for instance. It's jaunty. It could have just been crappy, right? But it's not. It's cool. It's a fun place to be. It's not going to last, but the spirit of it should last. Whatever you build doesn't need to look like that, although it looks pretty good. It doesn't need to look like that, but it ought to feel like that. It ought to give me energy and you energy every single time you walk into that place. You ought to come away going, yeah. I shop here. You ought to come away saying, yo. Thank you.
Unfortunately, folks, we have gone over time. I think we could have this conversation with Reed and have us entertain us for the rest of the day. It's been fantastic talk, certainly given us some fantastic insights into how we can rebuild the city, and I'll just give you show your appreciation, Reed Kroloff. Thanks very much.
Get out, get out.